right. Well, we are back a little bit different this week. We did say how we were going to get Charlie in as the girls are in camp. They're actually currently at Captain's Run. I just spoke to Keels and Koenig. So, it's always so nerve-wracking, like when you've got Captain's Run, because you know that it's coming up and it's always such a fun week in camp, and then it starts to get real right about now. Would you say so, Charlie? Charlie, sorry, I haven't even introduced Charlie. Charlie is actually on the other end. Charlie is our producer, and you would have heard us spoke about him quite often. He does everything for us, and there wouldn't be a show without Charlie. So it's great for you to make your first appearance. Thanks for coming on board.
It's good to be here, Millie. I wish I was in the Goldie with you. It's pissing down here. It's very sad and miserable in Sydney. But Captain's Run, wow. Does that make you feel a bit weird? No, you're not obviously playing this time because you're pregnant, but is that a weird feeling? Are you a bit jealous of the girls?
Look, there is like a little bit of FOMO because I definitely like Oregon's so much fun, and you genuinely are around like your best friends. And being in camp is like the excitement and fun levels of like when you've got school camp and you get to do something with your friends. Like you literally go in, you get so looked after. Obviously, it's the reward after a big training block to be in there, but you're sleeping in a nice hotel. You get all your food's cooked for you. Your schedule's all lined out, and that whole week of camp, you are just like everything you're doing is just trying to make your body right, your mind right. Like
no drinking.
Just want to feel good and whatnot. But
so do you guys?
What was that? No drinking.
No drinks. Did you guys have a couple nights out at the start, like the men do, or is it best behaviour the whole time?
No, it's best behaviour the whole time. I don't know if that's. I don't know. Like I don't know if that's because they might be in there a bit earlier, or maybe because they've had the whole season, like they've already played 12 rounds by the time they even get to Origin time. So I don't think many girls would actually want to drink beforehand because it's like you don't want to put yourself back at all, and you just want to play. And then you don't want to have that head noise. I feel like guys don't really have head noise about that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like
so you're
would.
more professional. The girls are way more professional than the boys, is what you're saying. Because it's also been different this time around, hasn't it? Like in terms of preparation, it's been a bit different. Like because you could have done that. The girls have done those opposed sessions, and New South Wales have had they basically had a matchup head to head to try and work out who's going to get picked.
Yeah. And it was the same with Queensland. And this is the first year that's actually happened, that it's been the same progression leading into it, because last year Queensland had their local competition they played in. So they were able to play footy week in, week out. They had whether it was just under 10 rounds of footy before they'd even played. Like New South Wales had no idea what to expect. Queensland didn't really know what to expect either. And then I feel like New South Wales kind of came out of the blocks, and it wasn't really expected that they were going to be as good as they were. But then obviously that, it didn't work out in the end for New South Wales, because I feel like our match fitness just wasn't really there. And, whether it's on game plan or whatever, but at the end of the day, whoever wants it the most is going to win, and then that match fitness really does just kick in. But
game 2 was the big one last year, wasn't it? Like game 2 was the big one where you guys seemed so dominant in that game. Actually, because I remember I was working on it, I actually don't understand how you guys lost that game.
Yeah, thanks, Charlie. I know it's lived rent free in all of our heads for a long, long time, and I don't know how we lost it either. I still remember it so vividly, and it was, and the fact we were even at that state of, okay, it's now a draw, like they've scored right at the end, and it was a low-scoring game. Oh, it was shit.
The weather was awful.
I was glad we had a third game. The weather was so bad. I remember even coming off the bench. Like I was on the bench after whatever my stint, and I was freezing on the bench. That never happens. And then I remember looking into the crowd and seeing everyone just shivering, and it was just, I couldn't believe there were actually still 25,000 people there, because it was less than ideal, the circumstances. But in going back to what you said before, just on the pregnancy stuff, I feel like because I I'm just so like, I feel so lucky that I'm in this position that I'm in, that I'm able to do this. Like a couple of years ago, the NRLW didn't even have this policy where we were able to do this. In saying that, I feel like I would have still done that because that's something I wanted. I really want a family, but it's really nice to also have that support there. And clearly there's a few other girls that also feel the same, because there's actually 4 players from the starting team last year, 2 from New South Wales, 2 from Queensland, that are all pregnant. So yeah, it's nice and evenly split.
Yeah,
so
very
it's great
evenly
to have
split.
that support. And I feel, I just feel like, because I want to go back to footy, it's not like I'm hanging up the boots. That would actually be depressing, I feel.
Yeah, it's a different situation because you're going to have it back next year. It's like you're on a sabbatical almost. You got a year off, have a bub, and then back ripping off Queensland's heads the year after.
That's it. But no, I've got full confidence in the girls that they'll do that this year. So we can probably go through a little bit of the team list if we want. Just chat some ins and outs from last year. New South Wales, a heap of change, like 4 debutants, which is pretty crazy. But not only 4 debutants, but a few players that have been in the squad in previous years that, haven't been in for 2 or 3 years. So a big change up from last year, complete new spine with New South Wales, whereas the Maroons are obviously sticking with what works. And if you look at their spine, the Maroons, it's pretty much the Australian spine as well. So like you're not going to change that. It obviously works, the best in the game, and it'll have to come a point of difference in every other position for New South Wales because, that's just how it is.
It's pretty good on paper, isn't it? Like Tamika Upton, Taryn Aiken, Ali Brigginshaw, and Lauren Brown at hooker. Like that's a gun spine. I had drinks with Tamika Upton's family in America. We were at like this random bar.
No way.
Yeah, we were at this random bar in LA just playing pool and stuff, and then ended up talking to them, and then we saw them in Vegas as well. Like, because after the game on the field and stuff, they were going crazy. So, yeah, lovely family, all of them.
They're the best, and they go to every game. They are so supportive. Like, they'll drive. Tamika's family will drive, like, because they're from Rockhampton. They'll drive to Brisbane. I don't know. I think that's like nearly 10 hours, and then they'll like wave to Tamika and then I'm like, oh, like your family are here. And she's like, yeah, but I think they just signaled that they're going to leave now because like, to beat the traffic or whatever. And it's like, what, they're just driving back to Rocky now.
Crazy.
Like they're honestly insane, but they don't miss games. Like they're always there, but they just, oh my God. And the fact they went over to Vegas, how cool is that? Like so special. It's a nice reason to be able to travel and, big families don't usually do that kind of stuff. So it's really nice that they can support her. But she's so funny. She's like, yeah, my family here. Probably won't even see them.
Is that the big advantage though for Queensland, do you think?
What was that, sorry?
Is that spine, is that where Queensland has their biggest advantage, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. They've got so much experience from playing together. And that whole spine as well, when we were at the Broncos, even going back a few years, that was our spine for the Broncos. Tamika Upton at fullback, Ali at 7, Taryn at 6, and Lauren Brown at 9. So, like, even just that experience that they've had so long together, and you know what it's like with a spine, like the longer they have to play and to almost more just know what they're going to do off certain things. Like, oh, I know that Loz will actually go short side on this, or Tamika likes it this side, Ali likes to dig in here, and Taryn will take every little space. Like, they've just had so much time together. So that is a massive, massive advantage for them. I even love that Jada Ferguson is coming off the bench. She's a Bronx girl as well. So she's actually cousins with Shanae. So pretty cool that they've got the fam affair happening there. And then Destiny Brill, she's in at lock, but she's played plenty of hooker. That's one of her main position is hooker. So they've got a lot of versatility there. Jada can even cover in the halves. Loz can cover in the halves. They've got a lot of versatility in their pack. And Tavana Papali'i, who was at the Roosters, is still at the Roosters. She is a utility as well, and that's how we used her coming off the bench. So, yeah, I'm sure if anything happens, they've got a lot of cover in a lot of spots. So that is also a plus. But one thing I am a little bit shocked with is just their size probably through the middle. And that's the thing when you put a hooker to lock, that's like having two hookers in size on the field. It's always, you can feel that a little bit. That's what I've noticed. Like when Keeley comes from hooker and she's jumping in at lock, like she'll obviously do her best, but sometimes you just can't beat size in terms of, like, no offense, I'm running at Keeley if I'm, just for a size point of view, like that's just, so I'd be running at Destiny because it's more likely you're going to get a quick play of the ball. It's going to be a low tackle and you get a bit of a roll on there. So that's the only thing with having that kind of versatility in hooker. Sienna Lafipo hasn't really played too much on an egg. She's a great player. I would have thought they might have popped her in at lock because she's a bit of a ball player as well. But, yeah, Jess Ellison and Keely Joseph are their only real middles, and then Sophie Holloman to play prop coming off the bench. I just think they're going to lack throughout the middle of the field that bit of go forward. They'll still and then to be able to keep it up for the whole game.
Yeah,
I think that'll be. They've obviously got such an advantage with their spine, and I think that will be a little bit of their weakness.
Amazing that Chelsea Lenarduzzi
more of an opportunity for New South Wales.
Yeah, for sure. And amazing that Chelsea Lenarduzzi didn't get in the team. She was like a huge difference maker in game 3, and her form last year was unbelievable. I thought she'd be like one of their first forwards picked.
I actually text Doozy. I said, "Congrats on I'm quite close with Doozy. We used to play together." And I said, "Congrats." Obviously she didn't get picked in the squad to begin the first 2 games last year, so she wasn't even a part of it at all. And then she got picked for game 3. As a player, we were like, why are they not picking Doozy? Like, we were relieved that they weren't picking her because we know how good she is, especially when it comes to Origin time. She always puts in so much, and she's just one of those players that really gets Origin. And, yeah, her job might be 10 minutes either side of half time, but that is such a critical time to come on and make a difference. And I don't think I've ever seen her play a bad game of Origin. She's one of those players that gets under your skin, and no matter how good of friends you are, she will always get her team going and do what she needs to whether it's playing a little bit dirty or like just getting the upper hand. She's always, she knows what to do in those situations. I messaged her saying congrats, and then I realised she hadn't even made the 17, and I was shocked because they saw what happened last year when they didn't include her. And then you haven't got Shannon Marto because she's out, and they haven't even picked Chelsea to come off the, honestly, I was baffled with that decision, and I think that she absolutely deserves to be there. And it's not like, this is the thing as well, it's not like she did so well last year. I don't know what she's done to lose her starting position, especially if she's coming off the bench.
Just that impact
I know that
forward.
Fitness might be a thing, but no one's played. No one's played footy, and she's such a good footy player. That's the thing. Anyway,
it's a shame because she's a great commentator
really
as well. She's a fantastic commentator. We could have had her in the comms box if she wasn't picked altogether, which is a shame, but that's all right. But we spoke about Queensland a lot now, so maybe we turn to New South Wales. Koenig's playing in lock. Yeah. She obviously plays back row at the Roosters. One player of the year in the back row. Do you think that's her best position, or do you like her at lock as well?
I think Koenig is probably one of the best locks and the best second rowers in the game. Obviously second row, she's so good there. But what makes her so good at second row is her ability to ball play. And she's almost acts as a bit of a second half on that. She's got that freedom when we play for Roosters to ball play. And that's what makes her such a threat, because you don't know if she's going to run. You don't know if she's going to pass. She tries all the time at training to put little kicks in, and it looks really unco. But once she masters the little kick for like a centre or winger, she'll honestly be unstoppable. But I like, for Origin, I really like her there, because you've still got a lot of great back rowers that can play. And usually it's Jemima Taufa in at lock, and she is just such a gun, such a hard worker. But in terms of the way they obviously want to play, and Koenig did play lock every game last year, is having that ball playing lock, and she's so good at it. She's a big girl too, so she can run the ball, she'll work all day, she could play a whole game at lock if she needed to. But, to get the most out of her, whether they play her for a whole game or not is up to how the game goes, I guess. But I really like her in at lock. I love playing with her at front row and lock, because she just works hard. She's a big body. She doesn't let anyone put it over her, and you feel really confident. Like, she loves organising. This is what our coaches always said. She's a halfback stuck in a forward's body. So lock is actually the perfect position for her. But yeah, and then there's even versatility there if they want to put someone, whether it's Jemima back in there, whether it's even Keeley back in there, Jocelyn Kelleher, then she can go to second row if there's any injuries. I love Koenig there, because it's a very influential place on the field, but also you want to have a strong middle pack, and that definitely ties them into having that.
Yeah, definitely. You spoke about the coach as well. It's the new coach, John Strange, Chuck's coach. He's obviously taken over now as New South Wales coach, but he's made a pretty big call as well coming in. Like, obviously the change he's made, but the biggest thing for me is Kezie Apps obviously losing the captaincy, and now Isabel Kelly's the captain. They're very different styles of leaders you hear. Like, overall, Isabel Kelly, she's an amazing captain though, probably for New South Wales.
Yeah, look, and they were co-captains last year. It was Kezie and Izzy, but I don't think, like, Kezie's been the captain for a long, long time, and she would have no bad blood about this. She knows she's coming towards, she's just signed a massive deal with the Tigers, but she knows that in a representative level, like, she is one of the older players, and that kind of stuff needs to be passed on at times. And Izzy's been playing under Kez for so long that it's a nice little transition there. So we've got Izzy in as the captain. She obviously does a lot of her work and a lot of her leadership through her actions. She plays so tough. She'll give you the hard word when, in a group when you need it. But she's also there for everyone as well. She absolutely loves footy, loves the game, and loves the girls.
She seems so competitive as well. She seems so competitive, Isabel Kelly. Like, she always looks so angry out there on the field, like fired up always.
Yeah. It's like she's got like a permanent, like, I'm not smiling until this game is done, until we're holding the shield. So she's definitely got that persona about her. She just competes on everything, and you'll see her, whenever even she jams for a tackle, like, even if she doesn't, like, when she cleans them up, it's great to see, but even if they've used footwork or she hasn't, it hasn't worked out, she will hold on by the tips of her fingers to get them down, because she just doesn't let that stuff go. Like, she just wants the best for her team, and that comes out. I've got like goosebumps talking about Origin and all this stuff. So, but yeah, she's joined alongside Tiana Penatani-Gray, who's playing 6 this year, but she's just also such a competitor and can play pretty much any position as well. She's played a little bit of 6 to cover. I think for Gillaroos, she played a little bit in at 6, but an out-and-out centre. She was the starting centre for Gillaroos this year and last year as well. She's great on the wing and at fullback too. She's got the sevens background. One of the things she's so good at too is defence. Like, she's so aggressive, and that's, you don't want a half that's going to get, you're not targeting Tiana as a half. That's what I'm trying to get at, because she'll knock you back. Like, she's very, very strong. She's very fit, and she plays very flat and fast. And that's the way Stranger will want to play her in this role. So I really like it. And they've had 6 weeks to obviously all play different positions and to move things around. But when you've got Jess and Izzy, like, that's obviously where the strengths are here as well in the outside backs. It's just about giving them early ball and letting them do their own thing, because Jess is just as competitive as all of them put together. She was pulling. I remember this one game, not one game, that they've actually been going at it for a while, just in club and whatever, even Origin. Tamika and Jess Surges, they'll pull each other's hair, they push their heads to the ground. Like, they both get really into it. Like, they're like, yeah, you wanna fucking go? Like, they're a really good matchup, because they're both not that type of person off the field, but on the field you just see how it comes over them. So
at training and stuff, are they
very,
driving the standards a bit at training and just making things get to that extra level?
I feel like it's hard to replicate at training, and especially when you're playing against, you're swapping in and out teams, and you're not, it's hard to replicate, and you don't want that type of feeling. But it's something that when you cross the line, it definitely happens. And keep an eye out for Tamika and Jess. And I've actually spoken to them on separate occasions. They're good friends, obviously, and they're two of my good friends from when I played separately with them. And they've both said on different occasions, does Tamika hate me? Does she think that, but Tamika's does Jess think that I don't like it? It's funny that girls have that, in the back of their head, because everyone's obviously so close. But no, they are very, very competitive.
Well, Millie, you think Queensland's probably got the better spine. New South Wales got the strength in the pack and probably the outside backs as well. But where will the game be won?
Look, I don't want to sound biased with this as I'm a prop, but it seriously is always won and lost in the middle, because you can't do anything if they're just tearing up the middle and they're getting ground, they're making 80 metres a set. And then it's not only that, it's coming off the back of that and trying to get out of that position into some good field play. So the halves will definitely make the most. And then obviously the backs are the ones that score the tries, but it'll definitely be who stands the ground. I think the first 10 minutes are going to be absolutely brutal. And for those that are going to be watching the game, whether you're at the stadium or whether you're watching it on Channel 9, because it's
live and exclusive, baby. Live and exclusive.
And free.
And free, the best part.
Just have a look at some of the players that are, whether they've just made 2 tackles in a row or if they've just, taken a hit up, because the first 10 minutes is you're thinking to yourself, how am I going to last this game? I'm fucked, especially because they haven't played in so long. And that adrenaline, you get your second wind after 10 minutes. But there's just so much heart and feeling and nerves and everything. So the first 10 minutes are going to be brutal. They're going to bash each other up. But I do think this game will be won and lost in the middle. And then, but that doesn't just mean the forwards. It means, outside backs coming in to have carries. And where are they having carries? They're having carries through the middle. Izzy and Jess can get such quick play the ball that, if no one's square at marker, the hooker's just going to jump and go. And then what that does to a retreating defensive line is it feels horrible when it's happening to you. And momentum is something that's so hard to stop, and that comes from the middle.
Yeah, because even you took Jamie Chapman was one of the stars for New South Wales last year, wasn't she? I remember that try. I think it was game 1 where she scored that insane try at Suncorp, and it was just she set the game alight. I wonder who Hammer's going to be going for. He's obviously Queenslander, but is he going to be supporting Jamie Chapman and the Blues, or is he going to be going for Queensland?
I asked Chapo this when I went into their media day to do some stuff, and I said, "Who's Hammer going for? Is he going for obviously he's a Queenslander?" He said to me on air, he's definitely going for us. He's cheering for us. He can't wait. Go the New South Wales Blues girls. And then as soon as we were cut, she goes, he honestly wants us to lose. He's going for Queensland. He's Queensland through and through. And I was like, that's mean. But I guess, like, in that instance, you can't, I don't know. If Adam and I were on different states and he was playing for Queensland or something, he would definitely want us to win. But
yeah,
look, they're fresh.
Yeah, exactly. Early days, you know. You guys are married, you got a kid on the way. He better be supporting you.
Absolutely, exactly. No, and just to wrap it up, we're only going to do we've just done a quick little review, but shout out to the debutants, Abby Church in at fullback. Like, she's been a part of the squad for Gillaroos last year, and this will be her first taste of representative footy, her first time in the Blues. From all reports, she's done really well at training and played really well in the games against each other. So to her, to Ellie Johnson, who's been 18th man, I think 2 or 3 years in a row. So for her to be actually starting a game, I think is incredible. She played so well with the Sharks last year. And I know we're going to wrap it up quickly. We've just done a little bit of a preview. We'll do plenty more on the review, but just wanted to give a quick mention to the debutants. We've got Abby Church, obviously playing her first game at starting fullback. She's really excited. She's been a part of, that rep environment for about a year now, but this will be her first taste of representative footy. So really excited for her. Ellie Johnson, she's been 18th man for I don't know how many years in a row, but she really deserves this, and she's been playing some great footy for Sharks as well. Jamie Frezard, who's been around forever, she gets her crack at wing, so really excited for her. She's such a mongrel, got so much dog in her, and she'll be unreal. And then Jocelyn Kelleher as well. She can play pretty much anywhere, and she's got such a great kick. Her bombs are so good and led to plenty of tries for the Roosters, so that'll be something to watch. And just quickly, Emma Veron is Emma Tonagato. People are like, who the hell's Emma Veron? Is she debuting? It's Emma Tonagato. She's taken her partner's name. And for Queensland, we've got Rory Owen, Jada Ferguson, and Tavana Papali'i. So good luck to those girls. Yeah. May the best team win.
Yeah, I imagine it's a very nerve-wracking, the first game of Origin. What year did you make your Origin debut? Was it 17, 18? What year?
No, it was my first year back in footy was in 2019. So my first year was 2019. I remember watching 2018 from the lounge room and going like, I didn't even know there was a women's Origin. What the hell?
Yeah.
And then, the next year I was playing at North Sydney Oval. It was still probably one of my best ever experiences, probably because we won, and we haven't won many times since then. But
packed house as well at North Sydney. I remember that night. It was insane. The atmosphere there was so good.
So good. Like, for a women's game, over 10,000 people there. It was incredible.
Well, let's finish up then. Obviously, Tip in New South Wales, but I want the score and the player of the match as well.
I think score, it's going to be a close one. I think it'll be 22-16 to New South Wales. 22-16. And I think player of the match, I'm going to go a forward on debut. I'm going to go Ellie Johnson. I think she's in for a big one.
I'm going to go man of the match, Keeley Davis. I'm going to say she's the superstar. She single-handedly wins the game with a couple of try assists maybe to Liv Koenig as well, who stands up. The two of them just dominate.
Why didn't I say that? You know what I want? A little grubber from Keeley at hooker. She gives Koenig the eyes like, I'm kicking here, and Koenig just runs on and scores.
Yeah.
Can I change my mind? Can we delete that last bit?
Say less.
Say less. Well, thank you so much for jumping in for the girls, Charlie. Appreciate you. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and I hope you enjoy the game, and we'll be back soon.